Iran nears deal to buy supersonic anti-ship missiles from China. Former UK Ambassador Mandelson arrested after Epstein revelations. US Ambassador to France banned from meeting French government. Modi's Israel visit sees tensions over Israel's Supreme Court chief's exclusion. Hungary blocks Russia sanctions, EU cash for Kyiv on eve of Ukraine war anniversary. Iran is close to finalizing a deal with China to purchase advanced anti-ship cruise missiles, according to sources familiar with the negotiations, as the United States deploys a major naval force near Iran amid rising tensions. The proposed deal involves Chinese-made CM-302 missiles, which are supersonic and have a range of about 290 kilometers. Defense experts say the weapons are designed to evade ship defenses by flying low and fast, and would significantly enhance Iran's ability to target naval vessels in the region. Sources said negotiations began at least 2 years ago but accelerated after a brief war between Israel and Iran in June. Senior Iranian military and government officials, including Deputy Defense Minister Masoud Orai, reportedly traveled to China as talks entered advanced stages last year. It's a complete game-changer if Iran gains supersonic anti-ship capability, said Danny Citrinovich, a former Israeli intelligence officer. He said the missiles would be extremely difficult to intercept. Reuters could not determine how many missiles Iran plans to acquire, how much the deal is worth, or whether Beijing will proceed given heightened regional tensions. Former British ambassador to the United States Peter Mandelson was arrested by London police on Monday on suspicion of misconduct in public office, following revelations about his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Metropolitan Police said officers detained a 72-year-old man as part of an investigation into a former government minister. Police stressed that an arrest does not imply guilt. Mandelson was dismissed from his post as ambassador in September after details of his friendship with Epstein emerged. Earlier this month, police opened a criminal investigation after the government of Prime Minister Keir Starmer passed on communications between Mandelson and Epstein to authorities. Footage showed Mandelson leaving his central London home accompanied by plainclothes officers before being driven away in a vehicle. There was no immediate comment from Mandelson or his legal representatives. The Charles Kushner, the U.S. ambassador to France, has been barred from meeting members of the French government after failing to appear at the Foreign Affairs Ministry, diplomatic sources said on Monday. Kushner had been summoned by French officials to explain comments made by the U.S. Embassy following the killing of far-right activist Quentin Duranc, who was beaten to death last week in a street fight involving alleged hard-left activists. A diplomatic source said the French government viewed the embassy's comments as interference in France's internal public debate and said Kushner did not attend the scheduled meeting. Following his absence, the French foreign minister decided that the ambassador would no longer be granted direct access to members of the French government, the source added. After the killing, the U.S. Embassy in France and the U.S. State Department's Counter-Terrorism Bureau said they were monitoring the case, warning on social media about what they described as rising violent radical leftism. French officials said the incident, which shocked the country, should not be exploited by foreign governments for political commentary. Ahead of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proposed visit to Israel later this week, Israel's domestic politics has been unsettled by a dispute over protocol at Parliament. According to a report by Press Trust of India, opposition leader Yair Lapid has warned that opposition lawmakers may boycott Prime Minister Modi's address to the Knesset unless the country's Chief Justice is invited, in line with long-standing convention. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive in Israel on the 25th of February for a 2-day visit. He is scheduled to address the Knesset and meet Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Isaac Herzog. Lapid has insisted that Yitzhak Amit be invited to attend the parliamentary session. He said the opposition does not want to boycott the Indian leader, but accused the government of creating a situation that could embarrass Israel. Lapid told lawmakers that excluding the Supreme Court president would make it impossible for the opposition to attend the session, warning that a half-empty Knesset during Modi's address would reflect poorly on Israel. Hungary has maintained its veto on new European Union sanctions against Russia, and on a major loan package for Ukraine, dealing a blow to Europe's pro-Ukraine unity ahead of the war's 4th anniversary. The move comes amid a growing dispute over halted Russian oil supplies to Hungary and Slovakia, which rely on the Soviet-era Druzhba pipeline. In Brussels, EU foreign ministers failed to persuade Budapest to lift its objections. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said no agreement had been reached on a new sanctions package, calling the impasse a setback. European Council President Antonio Costa urged Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán to back a proposed €90 billion loan for Ukraine. Orbán responded that he would not support any measures benefiting Kiev until oil supplies are restored. Slovakia later said it would stop providing emergency electricity supplies to Ukraine from Monday unless oil transit resumes.